Hello, welcome or welcome back to the channel. So the Genshin Impact 4.2 live stream after being postponed has finally come out, and in this video we're going to be compressing the live stream and giving you all of the relevant information in case you missed it. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. The first thing I want to talk about are the new characters, and the first character I want to talk about is of course the hydroarchon furina. She has a very interesting kit and very fun from the looks of it. She has two states, Usia and Numa, and you can switch between them by using her charged attack. In the Usia state, when you use elemental skill, you summon these three guys which deal damage to surrounding enemies, and in her Numa state, when you use her elemental skill, you summon this guy who heals your allies. Her elemental burst deals damage to surrounding enemies, but it also gives Furina fanfare stacks whenever an ally's HP increases or decreases. And whenever she has fanfare stacks, she will increase the damage as well as the incoming healing bonus of all allies based on how many stacks she has. She has a pretty stacked kit. In the overworld, her passive ability lowers the cooldown on the aberrant abilities you can get in the underwater creatures, and whenever one of her summons is on the field, she is able to walk on water. So yeah, Kokomi has been power creep. The second character we have is a 4-star cryo catalyst, Charlotte. Her normal attacks have very beautiful animations and I really hope to use them. But based on her kit, I don't think she's meant to be a damage dealer, and you'll see why. Elemental skill works kind of like Nahida's skill, where it's basically like a camera. You take snapshots of the enemies and it marks them and it deals damage. Holding it, I think, increases the damage you deal over time. A burst creates a field which heals the allies within the field, which is why I say she's probably not gonna be suited for a damage dealing role. Now, as for the banners, the first half banners will be Furina as well as Baizu, and Charlotte will also be on these banners as well. And for the second half, the banners will be Sino and Ayato. And of course, Furina's weapon will be on the first half weapon banner, of course. Alright, for the next part, let's talk about the new bosses. First of all, we're gonna get a new weekly boss in Fontaine, which will be the all-devouring narwhal, which is this big old whale-type creature which has two stages apparently. In the first stage, this thing launches a bunch of AoE attacks, so you're going to be running around trying to dodge it and while attacking this. In the second half, you get devoured by this thing and you get transported to an alternate space where you have to fight this guy. And yeah, that's pretty much how the mechanics work as far as they've shown. There's also gonna be a new world boss, but you know, world bosses, though the design here looks pretty cool, I'm pretty sure it's just gonna die in like under 10 seconds. So yeah, and we're also gonna be getting a few new areas, and they look pretty nice, so look forward to those. So we're gonna have to do some more exploring as well. Next we go to the events. The events, we have the first event we have is the main event, which is going to be the Telxi's Fantastic Adventures, which also gives a free copy of the 4-star Freminet, as well as other rewards as well. This event has 3 stages. In the first stage, we're going to solve these mechanical puzzle type things to complete the first stage. The second stage consists of looking underwater and finding the stuff you need. And the third stage is just a fighting event with Penguin actually fighting by your side and providing buffs within the fight. So yeah, that actually looks pretty cool, so can't wait to try that out. The fungi event is also making a return with a few optimizations. In this case, we're going to be fighting monsters instead of the mechanici. Just make this event permanent already. It's too good not to. Next, we have the Graph Adversarial Technology Experiment log, which is basically just to gather stuff or exchange it with your friends in order to get the rewards. But one of the rewards is the Special Analysis Zoom Lens, which allows you to zoom in when you're taking photographs. Also, when you combine it with Charlotte's skill, you can actually take pictures while fighting or even within domains. And of course, one of my personal favorites, Misty Dungeon Realm of Water, is coming back, and I absolutely love this event. I wish they would make this into a permanent feature of the game, or at least bring it back a little more often. And lastly, we have the Leyline Overflow, which at this point I don't think should be considered an event, but you should just make this thing happen every weekend or something like that. Alright, next up, we are going to get Act 5 of the Archon quest, and we're also getting Furina's story quest as well. And finally, we're getting a bunch of quality of life upgrades. The first one being, we get a quick start for weekly bosses, meaning that if you're AR 40 or higher, you don't need to complete the story quest in order to unlock the new weekly bosses. So if you have a new character but you haven't completed the story quest, you can still just unlock the weekly boss, and you can level up their talents and stuff like that. You don't have to wait to complete the story quest before you can level them up anymore. It's a pretty big quality of life update, and it's a fantastic one. Next up is Genius Invocation TCG is getting a bunch of quality of life updates. Most notable one to me was the fact that it's getting an accelerate button where the gameplay is accelerated, which has always been a necessity for me because the gameplay feels a bit too sluggish. Also, the number of deck slots is going to be increased from 10 to 20, and deck sharing through code will also be made available, so that's a pretty good improvement to this. There's going to be a bunch of other improvements to Genius Invocation TCG as well. Yeah, look forward to those if you're a TCG enjoyer. Next, we have optimizations to the Stellar Reunion for returning travelers. I'm not entirely sure if the rewards have been changed or not. I think they look more or less the same. I think it's just the UI and the information that's been optimized, but I'm not entirely 100% sure on that. The next up is optimizations to quest. Finally, this when you use your story key to unlock a story quest, you do not automatically accept it, whereby it was causing the problem that if you use your story key to unlock a story quest, it would just show up in your quest log, it would fill up your quest log, as well as it would occupy other NPCs, preventing you from doing other quests. So that's not going to be a problem anymore, because after you can use your story keys to unlock the quest, but that doesn't mean you automatically accept it. That way you won't have to waste your story keys. You can use them, unlock the quests, but you can accept them only when you want to do them. Also, the prerequisite quests you need to complete for any quest or anything else has been made more clear, so it should be a big help as well. So yeah, in this patch we're getting quite a few things. We're getting the new characters, we're getting a bunch of quality of life upgrades, and new story, everything. In this update we're getting quite a bit. We're getting the hydroarchon along with Charlotte, we're getting new areas, we're getting new Archon quest, new story quest, we're getting new weekly boss, we're getting new world boss, we're getting quality of life upgrades for the weekly boss, as well as a bunch of TCG quality of life upgrades and others. So this patch seems to be filled with a lot of stuff, and I'm really looking forward to playing again. I've been away from Genshin for quite a while. I'm really looking forward to coming back. So if you enjoyed this video so far or found it useful, then please do leave a like, leave a comment, and also subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. Well, that's pretty much all that was in the live stream. So yeah, that's pretty much gonna be it for this one. See you all in the next one.